I cheated once, now I'm doing it again. Her doubt broke me. I never thought my life would take this turn. When Emily and I first met, it was perfect. We were 24, just starting out in our careers. Me as a marketing manager, and Emily, a nurse at a local hospital. I was drawn to her right away. She had this energy about her, like she could light up the entire room without even trying. And God, she was beautiful. This kind of effortless beauty that made everyone stop and take notice. I felt lucky, like I had won some cosmic lottery by just being in her life. We dated for 2 years, and then, at 26, I proposed. I remember that night like it was yesterday. I took her to this little Italian restaurant where we had our first date, and I could barely eat, I was so nervous. I had planned the whole thing out. The roses, the ring and the dessert, even a speech I was going to say when I got down on one knee. But when the moment came, I just looked into her eyes, and all I could say was, I love you, Emily. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And that was it. She said yes, and I thought, this is it. This is my forever. We got married the following year, and everything felt like a dream. We bought a small house in the suburbs, just outside the city. It was one of those neighborhoods where everyone knows each other. The kind of place where you borrow sugar from your neighbor or have block parties on summer weekends. Emily made friends fast. She's like that, just magnetic. And soon, we had this little circle of people we'd invite over for drinks or barbecues. Life felt settled. It felt good. But that's the thing about life, right? You think you've got it all figured out, and then, without warning, it turns upside down. The first few years of our marriage were great, but something shifted around year 5. I don't know if it was the stress of work or just the wear and tear of life, but we started arguing more. Little things at first, like who forgot to take the trash out or why I worked late too often. But then it became bigger things. Things that cut deeper. Things like, do you even care about us anymore, Jake? Or why are you always at the office? I'd tell her it was for us, that I was working hard so we could have the life we dreamed of. But the truth is, I started feeling disconnected, like I was just going through the motions. I wasn't even sure if I was doing the right things anymore. Then, it happened. I cheated. I know, there's no excuse. I'll never try to justify it, because there is no justification. It was with someone from work. Her name was Sarah. We had been working on this big project together, spending long hours at the office. One night, after one too many drinks at a client dinner, one thing led to another, and I slept with her. The moment it happened, I knew I had made the biggest mistake of my life. The guilt hit me like a freight train. I remember driving home that night, looking at my wedding ring, and just feeling like I'd destroyed everything. I thought about Emily, about how much she trusted me, how much she loved me, and here I was, throwing it all away for what? For a moment of weakness? For what? For what? Excitement? I hated myself for it. I couldn't keep it from her. The guilt was too much. So, I told her. I came clean the very next day. I sat her down on our couch and I told her everything. The moment the words came out of my mouth, I saw her face change. It was like watching someone shatter in real time. Her eyes welled up, her lips started trembling, and she couldn't even speak. She just broke. For days, she wouldn't look at me. She stayed at a friend's place, probably just trying to make sense of what happened. I didn't blame her. I gave her space because I knew that what I had done was unforgivable. But then, something surprising happened. She came back. She sat me down and told me she wanted to try to work through it. She said she believed in second chances. She said she still loved me. That's when the hard part really began. I thought we could rebuild, that we could move past it. But trust, once it's broken, it's never really the same, is it? At first, she tried. She tried to believe me when I said I was working late. She tried to trust me when I said I was grabbing a drink with friends after work. But slowly, the cracks started to show. Every time my phone buzzed, she'd ask, "Who's that?" Every time I went out without her, she'd say, "Why didn't you invite me?" I could see it in her eyes, the doubt, the suspicion. She never said it outright, but I could feel it. She didn't trust me anymore. At first, I did everything I could to reassure her. I'd text her constantly, let her check my phone, tell her exactly where I was going and who I was with. But the more I tried to prove I wasn't cheating, the more trapped I felt. It was like no matter what I did, I was always under suspicion, always guilty until proven innocent. Then the accusations started. If I was late coming home from work, it wasn't because of traffic, it was because I was seeing someone else. If I was on my phone for too long, I must have been texting Sarah or some other woman. I can't even count the number of arguments we had about this. I'd come home, and it'd be like walking into a courtroom where I was the defendant every night. The truth is, it broke me. Her doubt, her constant questioning, it got to me. I started to feel like no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I apologized, I would never be forgiven. I would never be trusted again. And then, I started thinking, why not just do it again? I know it sounds terrible. I know. But after months, even years, of being accused of something I wasn't doing, I don't know. I started to wonder, what's the point of trying so hard to be good if she's already convinced I'm bad? Why keep proving myself when nothing will ever be enough? I didn't seek it out this time. It wasn't like I was looking to cheat again. But there was this girl at work, new to the office. Her name's Megan. She was friendly, always laughing at my jokes, complimenting me. She made me feel wanted, and after being treated like a villain for so long at home, I guess I just gave in. It happened again. I cheated again. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I thought I was a good person once. I thought I was a man of integrity. But now I feel like I'm just living out the role she's cast me in. The cheater? The liar? The crazy thing is, Emily doesn't even know about Megan. She's still accusing me of being with Sarah. It's this twisted, horrible cycle where I feel like I've become exactly what she fears most. And the worst part is, I don't even know if I care anymore. Maybe I deserve this. Maybe this is just who I am now. But I can't help wondering, did I become this because of her doubt? Or was this always who I was deep down, and I'm just finally admitting it to myself? Maybe once you break someone's heart, you break your own too. I don't know where we go from here. I love Emily, I really do, but I don't think we can ever get back to what we had. Too much has been broken, and maybe it's time to let go? What do you think? Can a relationship survive once trust is broken? Or is it doomed to repeat the same mistakes? If you've been through something like this, or know someone who has, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear more real stories like mine.